Good afternoon, graduates, faculty, families, and friends. Big day today. And it's my real honor to speak here to a class as global, as ambitious, and as diverse as HULT's. Especially a class that's graduating in a year where you've demonstrated unparalleled resilience and resolve. So congratulations to all of you. You know, when I was preparing for today, I looked at what some other commencement speakers have been speaking about. And a lot of them, especially from the tech world, have been talking about AI. They've been telling graduates to embrace AI, adopt AI, and that it's an AI-driven future that they might be preparing for. Unfortunately for them, a lot of them got booed off stage. Now that puts me in a bit of an awkward position because HULT invited me here, at least in part, because I wrote a book about AI taking over. In other words, I'm exactly the kind of person you would expect to give a speech about AI is here, so get on board and adapt. But that's not quite what I want to talk to you about today. In fact, right now, there are far more important things that you must adapt to at this critical juncture in your careers, much more important than AI, and we will talk about those. Now, of course, you have to use AI. You can't pretend it doesn't exist. That would be terrible advice. But there are already signs that overusing, even abusing AI is leading to cognitive decline. So it's my belief that in a world where everyone is outsourcing their thinking to a machine, the real competitive advantage would be for those who train their own intelligence rather than a model's. Those who use AI as a gym and not a wheelchair. Those will be the folks who are plugging out of the matrix. I'll share an example from my own home. Like many homes, we have several of those Alexa devices lying around. But when my kids were very young, we changed the wake word from Alexa to computer. I did it because I wanted my kids to realize that even though AI is living in the same home, in the same family, among the same family as them, AI is not a person. It's not part of our family. It's not your mentor. It's not your therapist. Certainly not your girlfriend or boyfriend. It really doesn't care about your success. It is not responsible for what it says or does. You, however, must be responsible. Which brings me to my very first piece of advice for you today. I want you to aspire to be in the top 1%, but not necessarily of wealth or income or status or follower count. Aspire to be in the top 1% of responsibility. Because in any company, startup, government, family business, the most valuable person is the one who owns the outcome. The one who never says, hey, this isn't my job. The one who can show accountability even when things go wrong. The one who can look at all the different opinions, the different data, and still take a responsible, accountable call for the path forward. People like this, responsible leaders, will find opportunity everywhere, be it as employees, as founders, public servants, or beyond. And I think this class really understands something about responsibility. You graduate after a year of serious disruption, and your generation also experienced COVID in some critical years. That's hard. I won't pretend otherwise. But I promise you that many of you, in hindsight, will find that these years were a masterclass in resilience and self-motivation. They prepared you to break into that top 1% of self-directed responsibility. My second piece of advice is on your career path. It's no secret that a lot of the old models don't apply as neatly as they once did. Study, get a job, climb a ladder, save money, buy a house, play it safe. And that path might work for some people even now, and that's great, but Fact is, this is no longer the only model. Yet, you will be still asked the same old questions. Your elders, hiring managers, relatives will still ask you things like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? What's your 10-year career plan? Look, for the interviewer, for the relative, have an answer. But for life, do not box yourself into a 5-year plan. Many of the jobs and businesses that are the perfect fit for you in 5 years might be inconceivable or non-existent today. And if you're overly locked into one direction, you may not even be able to see opportunities when they arise. So, don't hardcode into a 5-year plan. Instead, think about the desired architecture of your life. What kind of life actually resonates with your values? Do you want constant hustle or balance? Do you want public recognition or quiet mastery? Do you want to work with big institutions and big teams or work in smaller rooms where you can build quietly? You need to ask, what kind of life am I trying to build for myself and what choices will bring me closer to it? Trust me, that's way more helpful than any 5-year plan. Oh, along the way, many people will still tell you that certain choices are unavoidable. They will say, for example, that you cannot have work-life balance and professional success. They'll say you must choose between a creative career and a high-paying one, or that technical skills are the only way to success. My advice is, ignore these people. These are false choices. In reality, your life architecture can absolutely include things that seem to contradict each other. Success and balance, creativity and money, ambition and freedom. But the first step is articulating and defining what is it that you value. My third and final piece of advice is about luck. When you look at someone successful, their story often sounds very neat and very linear from the outside. They studied this, they joined that company, made that promotion, built that business, and success just piled up along the way. But when you speak to them candidly, honestly, the story is almost never that neat. And nearly all of them will tell you that luck had a lot to do with it. But here's the thing, luck is not completely outside your control. You can absolutely influence it. So my advice to you is maximize the surface area for luck to find you. Go to that event, ask that question, reach out for that coffee, try the risky thing, publish the idea, help someone even not knowing what might come out of it. You never know what it might lead to. Jack Ma says it really well. He says, maximize the chances of randomness in your life. Many of you already did this by coming to HALT. You crossed borders, you entered a global room, you put yourselves in the path of people, ideas, and opportunities that would never have found you otherwise. Keep doing that. When you're out there, maximize the surface area for luck to find you. You're graduating into a world where intelligence is becoming abundant, but wisdom is still scarce. A world that needs responsible leaders more than ever, and this region knows a thing or two about that. A world in which the universe of possibilities is expanding at a blinding rate. The opportunity is absolutely there, and so is the need. In my opinion, your generation is by far the best poised for such a world. You will rewrite the old formulas. You will use the unprecedented tools at your disposal. You have already been through crises that forged you in fire and have given you matchless resilience and maturity. And now you also have the experience, the brand, and the network of HALT. You've been equipped like no other generation to take on this brave new world. I am deeply, deeply excited for you. Class of 2026, congratulations.